This anti-Semitic labeling is a trick that they use, but look how many people have been destroyed on account of such a trick. Let's call the roll. Let's look at all of those who have been charged anti-Semitic because they dared to utter a word of criticism against Jewish behavior and mislabeling. And I bet you won't believe the most honorable Elijah Muhammad was falsely labeled W.E.B. Du Bois. Marcus Garvey. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who said anti-Semitism is a sin, but they slapped it on our brother. Malcolm X, Kwame Ture or Stokely Carmichael, Andrew Young, Joseph Lowry, Booker T. Washington, Muhammad Ali, Dr. Abdul Alim Muhammad, Student Minister Dr. Ava Muhammad, Brother Khalid Muhammad, Brother Don Muhammad. Look at the organizations: Black Lives Matter, the Black Panthers, the Nation of Islam, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC, the Universal Negro Improvement Association. But guess what? The list gets longer. Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Bishop Desmond Tutu. What about our great scholars? Michelle Alexander, James Baldwin, Dr. Leonard Barrett, Joseph Ben Yakunan, John Henry Clark, Allen Counter, John Hope Franklin, Mark Lamont Hill, Asa Hilliard, Leonard Jeffries, Julius Lester, Tony Martin, Alexander Pushkin, J.A. Rogers, Alice Walker, Richard Wright, Amiri Baraka. What? You mean all of these are anti-Semites? You mean Gary Bird, Sonny Carson, Steve Copley, Herbert Daughtry, Professor Griff, Lenora Filani, Alton Maddox, Tamika Mallory, Vernon Mason. What? Kwaku Person Lynn, Tavis Smiley, Wilbert Tatum, Lisa Williamson. That's Sister Soldier. Sister Soldier. And it's about time we stand up to be soldiers for the God. Look at this. You thought it was over. Got more. Julian Bond, David Dinkins, our former Congressman Keith Ellison, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, Kwesi Nkrumah, former Congresswoman Cynthia McKinney. What? Our Congresswoman today in Congress, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Our Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. Ayanna Presley. Gus Savage. Reverend Al Sharpton. Rashida Tlaib. All of these are anti-Semites, really? You mean to tell me even their own, the philosophers, the European Greek philosophers, Cicero, what? Edgar Degas, this, the Reverend Billy Graham, Thomas Edison. We wouldn't even have these lights on in here if it wasn't for Tom. But he's an anti-Semite. T.S. Eliot, the famous chess champion Bobby Fischer. Really? Henry Ford, of course. Adolf Hitler. Immanuel Kant, the German philosopher. H.L. Mencken. William Shakespeare. We put your picture in case, you you're mishearing the name. H.G. Wells. Philostratus. Richard Wagner. And Voltaire. It goes all the way to our entertainers. Nick Cannon, Dave Chappelle, Chuck D, Whoopi Goldberg, Arsenio Hall, Kyrie Irving, Allen Iverson, Deshaun Jackson, Michael Jackson, Jay-Z, Spike Lee, Ice Cube, Public Enemy. What? Dwayne Wade? How'd he play basketball? Oprah Winfrey. Imagine that, Father Flager. Oprah Winfrey. And of course, Ye. What? And what about their own presidents? George H.W. Bush. President Gerald Ford. President John F. Kennedy. President Richard Nixon. President Barack Obama. Yes. President Truman. And President Jimmy Carter, who wrote the book Palestine, Peace, Not Apartheid. He's in hospice care now, and they don't expect him to be with us long. And at the top of the list, they said you came out to Savior's Day to see and hear from the #1 anti-Semite in the world, Louis Farrakhan. I'll be damned. Are you saying that all of us are haters? And then they take the term anti-Semite to mean anti-Jew. Those that charge the minister and all of those that we just mentioned, they're not Semitic people to begin with. Did you hear what I said? So will the real anti-Semite stand up? Because they're not even rooted in the Semitic people. The minister will come behind and take that further. The former director of the Anti-Defamation League, Abraham Foxman, you know what he said? Louis Farrakhan is the only African American leader. Now we sitting around, who's our leader, making our picks, but the powers that be of this world and the spiritual wickedness in high places. They know the man that God has given to us in Louis Farrakhan, and we're too slow to recognize that God has given us a leader, a teacher, and a guide.